Oh yeah. What's up, Cowboys fam? If you feeling like I'm feeling, let's do this. It's time. It's time to make some noise. We all get together. Whose house? Cowboys. And we're stepping on the scene, repping blue and white jerseys, double stars, and our kicks clean. Second to none, like Emmett. It don't matter if we're home or away. We wanna win it. All day, every day, hit the lights, you know how we do it. Cowboys for life, reppin' them boys cause we chose to. We got fanatics getting crazy, hyped up for the silver and blue. Best believe we rollin' deep too. Biggest fan base across the nation, I thought you knew. Yeah, you know we rep together. Every stadium, city, Cowboys fans everywhere. Yeah, you know we ain't stopping. America's team, forever we'll be poppin'. We put it down in every town. Flags running, bees are poppin' every time we score a touchdown. We're fired up and we're getting it. Hyped up, dedicated fans united cause we're feeling it. Yeah, we're loyal to our team too. We're up for one star and we're family true, silver and blue. Yeah, you know we're about it. Throw your hands in the air, stars up, never doubt it. Yeah, it's time to make some noise. We all get together, whose house? Cowboys. And we're stepping on the scene, repping blue and white jerseys, double stars, and our kicks clean. Second to none, like Emmett. It don't matter if we're home or away, we wanna win it. All day, every day, hit the lights, you know how we do it. Cowboys for life. Cowboys, our boys making noise. Another offense is down, we hit them straight in the jaws. Our defense doing what they wanna do. They attacking, sacking, celebrating when the play is through. Back to taking care of business. Like when Randy White and Charles Haley were dominating trenches. And our DBs are playing tough, playing tight, flashback, doomsday, knocking helmets off. Rising to the top cause we're a threat. We've been through it, time to do it. Raise that 6 trophy on the set. Cause you know we got that action. Underestimating us while them dubs keep on stacking. Star game getting major. Dak Gallup, Lamb Parsons, new era playmakers. If you a diehard and you with me, make some noise. We the boys, rep that star mighty proudly. Yeah, it's time to make some noise. We all get together. Who's out? Cowboys. And we're stepping on the scene, repping blue and white jerseys, double stars, and our kicks clean. Second to none, like Emmett. It don't matter if we're home or away, we wanna win it. All day, every day, hit the light, you know how we do it. Cowboys for life.
Look at this, man. We got Giants fans tapping in. I didn't even know Giants fans existed on this timeline here today as we tap in for week 10 in the trenches, baby. It's the pregame show with your boy Bob and BG. But shout out to the Giants fans today, man. Y'all
yeah. Big props, Brandon Jays. Well, thanks for showing up, man. We appreciate it. Good to see you, man.
What up, Russell? We see you tapping in here today, baby. Yes, the New York Giants on the slate today, man. Where is everybody at? It is time to tap in. It is game day. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. It's week 10. New York Giants at AT&T Stadium, Bob.
That's some good stuff, man. There's just, I don't know, man. There's a lot of history with that right there, man.
NFC East.
You know, it's a big game no matter what. I know, and look, I know a lot of us are probably like, taking a deep breath today because it's the Giants. Maybe we're licking our chops. Don't forget, sometimes Dallas has the inability to play above their opponents. Now, it didn't happen the first couple weeks. I can't. Some impossible shit has to happen for us to lose this game today. But I don't want the Cowboys to actually think that way. As a fan base, we can think that all we want.
Oh, we're going to talk about that, baby, when we get into the keys to victory today. Because I'm just like I asked you in the pregame or, before we got live here back in the lab is which Cowboys team going to show up today? Is it going to be Dr. Jekyll or Mr. Hyde? What up, Prototype? We see you tapping in here today. Especially ripping that one star one family. Shout out to our guy, DJ Kai, with the intro in there. It's time to make some noise, Cowboy fans. It is game day. Got the afternoon game coming on 125 on the West Coast. You know the best coast. So if you're tapping in, do us a favor, leave us a comment. Let us know where you're tapping in. We're going to be getting into the keys to victory, but we also have a special guest here to welcome tonight. Or should I say today? Been here also before. Bob, you want to go ahead and steal the thunder?
Hey, I put out an invite to a couple of folks, but I guess we're bringing our man John in from the green room, because it's definitely a green room back there where we got our guests hanging out. But yeah, we got our my brother John Fattel that I grew up with in Miami, Florida. We used to watch. We watched all those 80s and 90s Cowboys games together in the same house in Kendall Lakes in the 305. So everybody, welcome John to the show, man. Let's bring him on.
What's up, boys?
What is up, big dog?
What up, John? I ain't seen you in a minute, baby. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm doing good, Big B. What's up, man? How you doing?
It's game day, baby. Let's go.
Oh my gosh, yeah. This is going to be a humble game, but yeah, let's get healthy, let's be smart, and let's get the W, right?
Win, baby.
Hey, man, it's a division game. It's the NFC East, and the way things been going around the NFL this season, I mean, it is scripted after all. Who knows? You know, we got Giants fans tapping in here today, hoping for an upset. We know all the haters are hoping for an upset today, especially as our division leader, NFC East division leader, Philadelphia Eagles, are on a bye week, and they're also hanging out here with us today. So don't be surprised if you see them tapping in. But an all-important NFC East division game. I hear some guy named Danny DeVito, some comedian, is the quarterback over there now.
Good old Frank Reynolds from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia will be quarterbacking today against us. And yeah, we definitely got to worry about it. He's only 4'11", and he's not real big. But no, we definitely have. But here's the deal: when we got these young kids, we already see. Look at what's going on today. Look what's been going on the last few weeks. Some of these young kids, man, they're hungry. Sometimes they hustle more than the veterans they're replacing for whatever reason they're replacing them. So that's why I think it's okay for us to sit here and say, okay, this is just the Giants. We shouldn't have to worry about this. But I'm hoping our team doesn't think that way, because they're still an NFL team that gets paid millions of dollars to play. So I really, really hope we blow them out.
Yeah, I remember this. Sorry, but I remember this time a year ago. We played a team called the Houston Texans. We were this kind of spread, and that went down to the last drive of the game for us, and got a big W there. But we don't think about that. But that those double-digit point spreads are nothing to joke about. They're still, like you said, Bob. They're NFL. They're professionals, and that's it. This is the NFL. Not for long, right?
Not for long.
Need
further luck.
And we got the official Dallas Cowboys injury report here from DallasCowboys.com. Nobody is out today. We had a few folks questionable, some limited participants, some full participants in practice, as you see here. Most importantly, Tyron Smith and Kavontae Turpin did not practice on Thursday. They don't have it updated as on Friday, so they do need to update this. But normally it is updated. But it doesn't look like too many red flags going in, especially on the injury report coming in for the game tonight, which we all know that's a formidable opponent when it comes to these NFL teams week in and week out. Will we not agree, gentlemen, that the injury opponent can strike at will?
Yes, and they will, 100%. It's done some bad things to us in the past, man. But let me ask you guys this, and John, I'll ask you first. How do you feel about our Cowboys team publicly announcing that we probably aren't going to be practicing Tyron Smith from here on out for the rest of the season? Or at least that's something that they were going to kind of bounce back and forth, which I think is a smart thing to do. What do you think about that, considering all things considered?
Well, I mean, we can only go by history. I mean, you always never want to kind of use history sometimes in a bad way, but unfortunately, Tyron's been out every year, multiple games. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And I absolutely praise, the few things I'll praise McCarthy for. I think that's very smart. Like, we already know we're not going to re-sign him. We know this is his last contract, and I mean, he just needs to put it up. But he still is a force to reckon with, and we have to keep him healthy, and he'll be there. But we've got to minimize these injuries with him, because obviously with Tyron Steele, we've got to make sure that we take care of Tyron.
Man, it smells like the NBA is creeping into the NFL with load management.
I don't
know.
That's right,
man. LeBron. That's right. Good point.
You've got to put him on pitch counts, right? I mean, especially in practice, for the just the sheer amount of just Achilles tendon injuries we've seen this year in practice and games. That should be terrifying enough for most people who have injury-prone players on their team to just kind of chill them out in practice.
Well, I mean, after all, continuity on this offensive line is going to be key after Dak Prescott, I believe, was sacked 5 times last week. by the Philadelphia Eagles. Pretty stout defense. You know, they got a pretty stout front
Yeah.
seven over there. But this diminished Giants team that we're facing today on both sides of the ball, I think if you even take a look at that, I think I brought that down, but they had the official, let me pull that back up. The injury report also for the Giants. And man, let me tell you something. They got some folks out.
Yeah, they do. That's kind of why, we were joking. If they don't put 70 up today, we're going to be pissed. That's the exact reason why.
Man, look
Simply
at this
because they've got every starter out right now.
injury report of the Giants, man. I mean, my goodness.
So Barry, I'll say this. I'm not going to name the other radio show, but it was a great point made this week. There's two teams in the NFL that are absolutely going to tank and tank on purpose for reasons.
Yeah.
And one of those is the Giants, because Daniel Jones is not the answer. Between Drake and Caleb, they're going to be the one team. The other one's the Patriots. Patriots absolutely are going to sandbag the rest of the year. We didn't see an aberration today. That absolutely happened on purpose. But to
see a good acting job on the side? Oh.
Yeah, to say this, they got to play each other on Thanksgiving, so each have their own. But the point being is, we just got to stay healthy today, because we got to work on our penalties, our false starts, our offsides, just the things that, man, I've been just upset about for the last year, because we're doing it again this year. So Barry, I wanted to ask you
again. It's a trend. Obviously, I mean, you're hitting the nail straight on the head there, especially.
This is why I fell in love with you, man. I want to ask you. You're always post game saying, "Man, aren't you tired of these penalties?" And like, what's up?
Well, like I said, there's 4 opponents that every NFL team faces each week. And obviously, we're facing the Giants today, so it's always the opposing team as the Giants are coming into AT&T Stadium today. The second opponent is also the injury opponent. We talked about that. We kind of alluded to that. Every week, somebody's getting injured. The landscape of teams change immediately. Look at how Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets have been affected after first couple of plays, tipping off the season. So you got the injury opponent. We got the Giants. We got Sin City, as we're going to go through that too as well, and take a look at the over-under on the Giants today. Cowboys are heavily favored in this game. So you got Sin City that also helps shape outcomes of games. And then we've got the Zebras. And I don't even like to call them the Zebras or the referee opponent. It's simply the discipline opponent, which I think you're alluding to, John, there, what we're talking about. Why do the Cowboys continue to get penalties? But these are 4 opponents the Cowboys face every week, and every NFL team for that matter. And as we seen last week in some questionable games, the Zebras and Sin City help shape outcomes of games, whether you want to admit it or not.
Absolutely. Of course I do.
But shout out to Facebook user tapping in here today to transition a little bit. Bob, it wouldn't be a show without a Facebook user. They're asking, is Turpin playing? Well, according to injury report, doesn't look like he's out. We don't have anybody out, so I would expect to see him on the field today. Matter of fact, I expect to probably see a little bit of Cooper Rush on the field today.
Oh, damn. Well, that sucks, because that just means that we're going to lose the feed to some other game, which is just the worst thing in the world. But
I forgot. Maybe not, man. Maybe not no Cooper Rush, because, I don't get it up here anyway. I got to watch it on the Dofu Sports app. So shout out to all of my Pacific Northwest Cowboy fans up here in this region. They're not showing the Cowboys game. The rest of the country, however, is getting the game, but there's also some streaming options out there. It's not on NFL Plus. I'm not paying YouTube TV for that shit, and I'll stream it on the Dofu Sports app for free. So shout out to everybody watching it. Not everybody's getting it today. So hopefully we don't see some Cooper Rush where they switch the game to a more competitive game.
I see what I'm looking at. I think I'm looking at the penalty statistics right now for the NFL, and I feel like we are in the top 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think we're 10, which sucks. Because I think for a little bit we had a grasp on that. That was something that's been a thorn in our side for actually quite a while. And we always blame it on, I think we blamed it on the niceness of Garrett for a long time. It's just something weird that happens with us. And so that's the only reason when you go back to all of podcasts, if you watch any of our podcasts, you'll hear me use the word culture. And I hear people say, yes, you may be right. No, you may be wrong. But there's just something about this locker room and this company that is run, that is the Dallas Cowboys, that lets people make mistakes without really a lot of ramifications for it. So we can't go back to the days where Jimmy would just cut you because you used an inhaler for your asthma. That doesn't happen anymore. These guys are millionaires. They have huge contracts, so we've got to keep them on the field, and they're going to get on the field. It's just kind of a pain in the ass, man, to have these stupid penalties in big. It'd be different. It's different when they're in times where it doesn't impact us, because you would think 10 penalties is still going to impact you, but we seem to have them at the wrong time.
Well, looking at the penalty report per Stat News right here, the Dallas Cowboys currently 8 coming into Week 10 with 60 penalties. I mean, last game against the Eagles, even though they had 10 penalties for more yards, we had 10 penalties too as well. We're not going to go there, as we see some Philly fans are tapping in. They got nothing else better to do besides hang out with winners. We see y'all Philly fans. We rent-free in your head here today as we go over the penalties, because we know the Eagles are one of the least penalized teams in the league. So I don't know what's up with that. 2 brand new coordinators, and they all of a sudden real discipline. That's what really gets me so frustrated about Mike McCarthy. To add to your point there, John, a little bit is, I mean, how do you got all this experience, all this wisdom, all this seniority?
Yep.
But we still making, dumbass pre-snap penalties, both sides of the ball. Goes to your point too as well about culture. As we get into the keys to victory here today, I mean, they just gonna have to simply. I mean, isn't Saquon Barkley simply all of their offense now that Daniel Jones is out?
Yeah, I don't know who's active right now. We're talking about. Dude, I mean, and Saquon usually is a guy to worry about. He's not someone that you can turn your nose down at this point, but he's still, he can still hit you for 80.
They're 13th in rushing right now, pretty much a one-man show over there, especially now that Daniel Jones has got a season-ending injury. I mean, they paid him they paid him more money than they paid Dak Prescott. I mean, I don't see Giants fans in our feet here dragging him, talking about him, but that's the Giants, not the Cowboys. But yeah, they're 113 yards rushing per game, 13th in the league. Dallas Cowboys going to have to stop the run today, because if not, it looks like Saquon going to be all the action over there on the offensive side of the ball. Outside of that, I don't know. Danny DeVito is the quarterback. Is that who it is?
It's Tommy. Good old Tommy. Tommy DeVito.
Tommy DeVito. My bad.
Hey, it's my uncle. He's a good guy and everything, but no, it's not really a relation.
Yeah. I'm with you though, but yeah, I mean, nonetheless, I'm curious to see as we get into the keys to victory. Dallas Cowboys going to have to hold New York Giants stat pro quo under 100 yards rushing. They're averaging over 113 yards per game. Without Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley is the offense. I don't even know about this new quarterback or what he has to offer, but we know what happens when quarterbacks who haven't really played that much play against the Cowboys. They have the game of their life, a.k.a. the Joshua Dobbs effect. Are y'all seeing what he got going over there in Minnesota? Man. But anyway, get back to these Giants.
we're watched. People watch us. People watch the Dallas Cowboys. So if you are starting one of your first or second or third starts ever, you are definitely going to play one of the best games you can possibly play against the Dallas Cowboys, who have the biggest microscope on them. So yeah, that's another thing to guess what I was trying to say. It's another thing to be a little scared about is hungry players. Because when you're seeing your team undisciplined, you feel like they're not hungry. But then you got this Tommy DeVito kid who's not going to come in and mess up on purpose. He's going to play his best game. That's something you got to keep an eye on, man.
Yeah, I mean, this guy we don't know have enough sample size to really take a look at. I mean, you see here even on Stat News, they don't have him updated. As you see, Daniel Jones's picture still there, but they're averaging about 184 passing yards per game now. Most of that's got to be, or not all of it, that's got to be Daniel Jones. So maybe you get an interception, here today. I mean, the Dallas Cowboys' second key to victory today is the defense going to have to be the turnover team. They're going to have to get turnovers on this offensiveless New York Giant team today and capitalize, fellas.
I'm hoping to see Micah Parsons go a little buck wild today, because the thing that I'm getting frustrated at is it seems that whenever a team wants to take him out of the game, he gets taken out of a game. And no one really is there to sort of step in and apply like a modicum of the pressure that man puts on an offense. It's just very basic when he's taken out. Our pass rush is very basic when he's taken out. And I know we'll get spurts of Odigizua and you'll get Tank and stuff like that happen sometimes, but it doesn't come near the frequency of what happens when Mike is on point. Another reason why I'm wearing his jersey today, man, I want to see the guy show up. And today of all days, with a depleted offensive line on the New York side, hopefully a little beat up Saquon Barkley not wanting to stay in and block too much is going to really, really give us a good chance to feast on this offense, man.
Yeah, defense going to have to be the turnover team. I mean, they're going to have to get after the ball, sacks, interceptions, fumble scoops, you name it. I would expect the Dallas Cowboys, if they can't handle this Giants team in this first half, and put it away within the first half. And I hate to say it, Bob, but we probably may see the Cowboys game get shifted to a more competitive game today. If that's the case, should that particular team for the Cowboys actually decide to show up? I don't know. John, which team do you think maybe are we going to get Dr. Jekyll or Mr. Hyde here today? Just as an initial snapshot coming out in this first half, what do you expect to see?
With division games, you never know, right? And with our team, unfortunately, we never know. Ultimately, we should dominate this game on all facets. And that's why I like to see, and not to go back and digress to the penalties, but it's the offensive penalties, the ones that we can control, especially when we're at home. In the fall, I want that cleaned up, and I want it cleaned up in games like this today. So when we have a more competitive game, we'll actually be better, because we're going to go on a tough road in December. But regardless, to answer your question, I think we're going to dominate. We may let them get some yardage the first series, which we always do.
Yeah.
But once Dan Quinn says, "All right, guys, sober up from last night,"
Yeah.
it's gonna be bad for your Danny Tommy / the Boston.
Hey, Tommy DeVito, yeah.
And it's gonna be all about the Cowboys. So let's freaking go, boys. Let's go.
Definitely. And with that being said, as we opened up with the injury report, talking about Tyron Smith, we talked about the injury report a little bit, the injury opponent. As we get to the third and final key to victory here today, I mean, it's really a short list. Pretty stat pro quo keeps Saquon Barkley at number 1, under 100 yards. Number 2, the defense going to have to be the turnover team today. I expect to see 1, maybe if not 2 scores from the defense here today. And then lastly, this offensive line, for even what it's worth with the New York Giants, who struggle, especially on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, they're allowing a lot of points to be scored up on them per game. They're going to have to keep Dak Prescott clean. Our quarterback took 5 sacks last week. Dak Prescott is going to have to stay upright this game at any cost, even against this Giants team. I mean, all we can not afford is an ill will injury. Speaking of the injury report and the injury opponent, especially to one of our key players, because I think one of y'all said opening up the show here today, getting it through this game healthy is going to be most important.
Mm-hmm. That's the truth, man. With a lot of players, and hopefully, Steele does his job. He doesn't have 2 bad weeks in a row, and doesn't do anything to himself in the process. Hopefully, he doesn't go out of his wheelhouse in order to make up for the things that he hasn't done in the last week or so, and just does what he needs to do without too many penalties and stuff like that.
Hey guys, can I just give a shout out to something?
Yes.
It's got to come, because tonight is the night that our number 88, man, our CD baby, he could break a record, boys. So let's get that 10 catches, 150 yards, 3 consecutive games. No NFL receiver has ever done that. And
NFL receiver.
So CD's going to break that record tonight. He can tie it tonight. I don't know, one of the two. But all I can say is, let's bring the X factor in, baby. Let's bring some CD.
So what's the record again?
He's already had 2 games of over 10 catches and 150 yards. I don't think any receiver said over 3, over 2. Okay. So this will be the third.
I wonder, can they get CD going initially in this offense? As you take a look at the passing yards per game, Dak putting up some pretty good numbers, 255 yards passing average a game, especially with 100 yards on the ground. We've seen Dak getting a little bit more mobile in the pocket too. As a result, going to be interesting, especially against this Giants team at home, where the Cowboys, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, where's my girl Caitlin? Always tapping in with the context. The Cowboys now going 11 straight wins at home. I think 11 wins now out of the last, I don't know how many, against the New York Giants. I mean, it's got all of the recipes, if you listen to some fans, as a trap game at home. But I don't know if I'll go that far. I think that's too far of a reach. But
don't you dare. Don't you dare.
Passing game. Yeah, the CD Lamb. Hopefully they can get CD Lamb going. I know fantasy owners would be happy if they could get CD Lamb going. They've been happy the last few weeks, because I've seen a lot of folks after the first 5 weeks ready to trade CD Lamb in the fantasy football league.
Barry, they got a good relationship in Dak. That passing offense is going to go to the CD. He's going to make a run for it. I promise you. You'll see.
Here we go, guys. This just in. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I'm adding to what you said, Jay. If Lamb catches at least 10 passes while also finishing with at least 150 receiving yards, he'll become the first NFL player to hit those totals in 3 consecutive games, which seems insane. Like with especially Randy Moss still being alive, that seems insane. But that's kind of a tough thing to do. You're 150 yards and 10 catches 3 games in a row. That's some serious shit. And I think that's 100% possible in a game like today, man. Why pass it around? Absolutely. Give it to the guy who's going to score. And CD's our dude. Yeah. So that's insane, John. Good call, man. I did not. That seems
we're definitely going to be tracking that. So great context there, John. Thank you for adding that. Shout out to my girl Michelle Price out there, Green Bay supporter of the content here. She's boots on the ground out there at the game today. If you're at the game, do us a favor, leave us a comment, let us know. Make sure you tap in with us for the halftime show and also the post-game show here today. Shout out to all of our boots on ground fans, especially Michelle. We see you out there, Green Bay, boots on ground at the game today. Big NFC East Division game today. Hello from San Benito, New Mexico.
Oh, nice,
shout out to everybody in New Mexico. A lot of Cowboy fans out there in New Mexico. John, where you at again? Ain't you out there with South Carolina, East Coast somewhere?
Yeah, I'm in North Carolina. I'm near Chapel Hill, Durham, where Tar Heel and Duke. It's all right there, ACC country.
Right on. And we still got Giants fans tapping in. It's pretty sad when they wish injury upon your players. Come on now, keep it classy, my guy.
Oh gosh, come on, man. God, I take back my pleasant hello from earlier has been.
We might be Cowboy fans, but we're not wishing injury. You know what I mean, on folks like that, like y'all did. You know what I mean, especially the Eagles fans did on Michael Irvin. We ain't gonna talk about that though. But man, come on, G-Man, keep it classy here, baby.
It's bad enough. You gotta keep pushing for this team. You can't act like that. That's impossible. Hey, what do you want to get a prediction going, man? I'll tell you what my prediction. Let me start off with my bold. I'm going to do a bold prediction like Mooch. All right, I'm doing this tonight. I have to see 40-10 Dallas. I also have to see, which I predict, Bland to get another pick 6, and I also predict Micah to get 3 sacks.
Wow. There's some stout numbers, baby. As we take a look at the numbers according to BetMGM, y'all know that is my bookie of choice out there in Vegas, BetMGM, because our Cowboy cousin Jamie Foxx represent MGM out there. But here it is, Cowboys 16.5-point favorites at home, you guys.
Will it be, man?
Total over under 38.5 points. I believe it's going to be on the over. The Cowboys love to go on the over as they went on the over last week, especially with the Philadelphia Eagles. So score predictions as we got the over-under up, and the Cowboys being a heavy favorite at home. Got all the recipes for a trap game. What's your prediction, Bob?
I just said it. I'm going with 40-10. Bland pick 6. Micah 3 sacks.
Hey, what's the total, boys?
38.5.
All right. So I'm going to take the under on that, and it's going to be 24-10.
24-10 going on the under, man, especially the Cowboys going into last week, 56% of the time on the over, man. Let's just keep it rolling. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, baby. I mean,
sorry.
You're a Giants team, y'all. I mean, come on, baby. I mean, we got to see a 50 burger today or less, because if we don't hit 50 on them with Cooper rushing it game by the end of the game here today, we're going to hear about it regardless from all your favorite haters, especially fans of the other 31 and the favorite 4-letter and 3-letter alphabet networks. They're going to say, well, they were supposed to win. It's an easy team. It's not a real team. They didn't score 40 or 50 points. I'm going to just say 50-0. Cowboys over the Giants. I'm going ridiculous today. Cowboys going to have to show up ridiculous, because this is a ridiculous setup for a trap game. And if I don't see the Cowboys come out here like my guy John says and dominate in this first half, anything else is going to be, like Charles Barkley would say, uncivilized.
They're going to move the goalpost anyway. No matter what, they're going to move it. It's just how they do things. It's just how it goes. So 50-0 from BG. BG does not give an ish today. He went super mooch. I just thought I was going moderate mooch. John's taking the under, which again, man, listen, John knows a lot of shit I don't know too. So
we could all be. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, especially I'm surprised they only got it at 38 points, especially with the Cowboys. I mean, the Cowboys are currently averaging 27 points a game. And if you're talking about this defense, or you're talking about this Giants team, you mean they score more than 30 points on them? I don't know.
Barry, and not to cut you off, but it's going to be lopsided, and I think that the Giants are going to late touchdown. I think it's going to be like 21-24.
I say garbage time points. I got you.
Garbage time points. Yeah, absolutely.
I can see that happening maybe. But Cowboys going to have to come out. We're going to have to see which one's going to show up, especially Dak Prescott. If it's going to be Dr. Jekyll or Mr. Hyde, because after last week's performance where we could have won that game despite the calls that we had go against us or go for us, I mean, the Cowboys definitely had all their options. I'm not blaming the refs totally. The Cowboys had opportunities to win that game in Philadelphia last week. And if they get out here and they start messing around with these Giants here today, man, it's going to be a long week because these next few games that we got here in November, I mean, we've got in the next 19 days, we've got 4 games. We've got the Giants today, then we got the Panthers next Sunday, then we got back-to-back Thursday night football games. We got the Commanders on Thanksgiving, y'all. That is another all-important NFC East Division game. And then lastly, we got the Seahawks traveling down to Dallas for Thursday night football. So 4 important games. The Dallas Cowboys need to make headway in this NFC. So let's recap the 3 keys to victory here today. Like I said, Saquon Barkley, we got to keep this guy under 100 yards rushing. He is the offense over there today.
Yeah, he's definitely.
Secondly, the defense has got to be a turnover team, Michael. We hear you talk about it all the time. You're going to have to manifest some turnovers today, baby. We need some scores. Our guy Bob said Deron Bland with a pick 6. Well, Deron Bland got toasted last week by the Devontae.
He did.
So, Deron, you're going to have to definitely respond, Deron. We're going to need to see that today, baby, for sure. Defense going to have to be the turnover team on the second key to victory. And then lastly, keep Dak Prescott upright, y'all. We cannot afford to have Dak Prescott get nicked up. We are just eclipsing this first half of this season, or getting halfway through this season, rather. All these games are going to matter. Health is going to matter, as we were talking about opening up against an injury opponent. If we can get through this game, nonetheless, without any injuries, it is a win, no matter how you look at it, especially the way the injury opponent been stacking up them dubs against everybody else in this league.
It's a good chance for us to get ahead, get to where we need to go, get ourselves in a position to make this late playoff run. There's a lot of players, there's a lot of teams right now that are doing well that are probably mathematically already out of the running, which is a terrible thing to feel at the pretty much the dead center of the season right now. But look, man, I don't think today is the day that we fall apart. I don't think it's there's a chance we have a few penalties that we shouldn't have, because I don't know, man, that just seems to be part of the blood. But as far as us underperforming today, I don't see it happening. And I'm saying that as optimistically as possible. But the next few games are a must win for us, especially knowing the challenges that our rival is facing and the possibility of them losing, them not playing very well either recently. And like you said, not only did we have a chance to win that game last week, they gave us chances to win that game last week.
We did not take them.
Yeah, that was really, really a pain in the ass to see. But at least it wasn't a beating, because I've seen those with Philadelphia taking us down in a big way, and those are even more depressing. So, they're not the juggernauts they say they are, and especially up against a team, I think we match up very well. But today, the Giants do not match up very well against us, and we very, very well need to prove that, and I guess be cut out from the feed somewhere around the third quarter.
Shout out to my guy Russell with the prediction tapping in 42-6. If you just tapping in, throw your predictions up. We're gonna be live, especially me, live at halftime with the halftime shenanigans, halftime tap in, and we'll be live for the post-game show to come back and review our keys to victory, talk about the game. So make sure if you're tapping in here, turn on your notifications to catch us after the game, because we know them haters is watching as we see them here in our comments. Any parting shots before we get out of here today, John? Really appreciate you joining us here again today. It's always a pleasure to have you. You got any special shout outs you want to give before we get out here today?
I'll just say the San Fran game hurt. That loss stung. Last week did not sting. I was very proud of our boys. We're not going to rehash and go back, but I'm going to tell you, we learned from that. We grew, and we could hang with anybody. And I just want to see the Cowboys start to look very consistent, and that means stay offensive penalty free, or minimize that. And absolutely just play as a team and stay healthy, and let's get through this game, respect them, and hope nobody gets hurt, Giants fans, right?
Right.
And move on to next week to our next matchup in my neck of the woods, baby. North Carolina.
All right, yeah, big time takeovers going down. Shout out to all of the fans out there in Carolina. Big time events going down. We're gonna have more information on that here as we get through this week, but we're now lined up against the Giants week 10. In the trenches, my guy Bob. I'm BG. He is John. Bob, you got any parting shots before we get out of here, baby?
Man, we just better slap him up. We better. I want to hear you I just want to see a shit-eating grin on your face on your halftime show, and then we're gonna get together and laugh a little bit in our post game, and that's what I want to see happen. So, And it's your God-given right to grow cannabis, so do that.
Definitely keep growing. We're going to keep growing here too. So appreciate y'all tapping in with us here. Week 10 in the trenches. That's right, baby. 9 shows consecutive this year. Built different group. We appreciate all of the Green Bay supporters. Without y'all, this content would not be possible. Cowboys Week 10 hosting the New York Giants. Come tap in with us halftime and the post-game show in the trenches. We'll see y'all in the gym on the next episode.